Hey guys, welcome to Paint Couture. I'm Ann with Pearson Bell at Home in Spring, Texas, which is located a little north of Houston. When you guys hop on today, just let me know where you're watching from and tell me what your favorite Halloween tradition is, whether it's trick-or-treating with the kids, handing out the candy, parties, whatever it is. Let me know what your favorite Halloween tradition is. All right, so as I see you guys hop on, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So today we are going to take a little plastic skull we got at the grocery store, believe it or not, and we're going to turn it into a sugar skull. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So we're going to go ahead, and I used quite a few paints for this one. We used lemon peel. Let me see if I can get the lighting there. Lemon peel, nice bright color. Moxie by the Sea, Caribbean coral, Polynesian pink, and kale sprout. All right, so I've already shook these up. And on this piece, I just put a primer on it, a bonding primer. It probably didn't need one. I thought it was a little slick, but as I started painting it later, it really didn't need a primer on this, especially the capacity it's going to be used in. So I'm just going to show you what kind of I did to start with. So I'm going to start with my Moxie by the Sea. And I'm using, for this particular project, I'm going to use a lot of makeup sponges. I tend to buy these in bulk from Amazon, so just grab them there. We use them a lot for stenciling in a lot of our classes. So again, you guys, when you hop on, tell me where you're watching from and your favorite Halloween tradition. And if you don't celebrate Halloween, it's okay. Just tell me your favorite fall tradition. All right, so I'm just dabbing this on, and I'm just going to use what's in the lid. I don't need a whole lot. We're just going to dab that in here. And I kind of had, my inspiration actually came from one I saw online. It was $4,300. And I don't know about you, but I'm not spending $4,300 for a sugar skull. So I'm going to make my own. All right, so we're going to get that all in here. And it's really however you like to see your colors, just kind of plan those out. I just kind of started painting these and liked the combination. And this guy, we have to find, he actually moves, his mouth moves, it's kind of cool. So I like it. But you can get any plastic skull, ceramic skull, whatever you can get your hands on. And to get into those little spots in the nose there, I'm just gonna brush it in there. All right, let me flip off of, all right, we're back. Internet is kind of iffy around here these days. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and dab this back in here. So hopefully you didn't miss too much of me. It's crazy what a difference a foot makes in my back room. All right, so let's see, I've got that pretty well taken care of here. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna leave this open. I may need that again. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with my next color, which is gonna be lemon peel. And you can use any combination of colors you like, whatever works for you the best. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and take the lemon peel and I'm just gonna go, we've got little cranial spots, so that's where I'm kind of going with. And you can really kind of do it however you want. There's no wrong way to make a sugar skull. Mine's just going to be a little colorful, and I know you're going, oh my god, it's so bright. Just you wait. I've got something up my sleeve for you guys. And you know, right after me, at 7 Central, 8 Eastern. Dustin's coming on his new time. So we're doing a double trouble, double feature on Thursdays for you. And he's got something really cool, so you'll want to definitely tune in for that. All right, let's see. All right, so now I'm going to start blending this a little bit, overlapping a little. Just a hair. I want a little green. So you guys can see that. I gotta fix phones. What can we do with them and without them, right? So I'm gonna add a little bit more yellow up here. May want to add a little bit more Moxie by the Sea. And just kind of blend it out. Kind of like that, you see it? See where we're going with that? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and close this one up. I think we're done with Moxie. And I'm gonna go ahead and do the eyes here, which I did in Kale Sprout. That's a good eye color. And I'm just going to use my brush for this because it's really hard to get those sponges in there. So we're going to go ahead and use the brush in the eyes. And like I said, trust me with these colors, you will see. All right, let's get more of that eye. And it doesn't really have to be perfect. And this is one the kids can get involved in and have some fun with. You can have some other elements that are more for the adults, like some German gloss glitter, transfers, and all that good stuff. The kids can have fun painting, if you want, the sugar skull. All right, so there's our Kale Sprout in the eyes. Okay, and then what I have going on down here, we're actually going to use a little, I'm just going to do a little bit of this so we can go on to the next step. I just kind of like how my chin or my jaw comes out on this one. So we'll do the Kale Sprout on the edges. And then I follow that with our Polynesian pink. I'm going to go ahead and close up lemon peel. We're done with that. All right, we're going to go with Polynesian pink. And I'm going to just go ahead and take that here and kind of blend out some of that on the edges. And you can use a brush, whatever works best for you. I just liked the effect that I got with our sponges. So I wanted a little soft transition. And then I'm going to take my coral for that center. So you can have a lot of fun and choose a lot of fun colors. And you'll see why we picked bright colors. Okay. All right, we got a little Caribbean coral here. Again, I'm just going to blend that out. Kind of get it in the teeth, and it's okay if I get it on the teeth because we've got something going on with those too later. So here's the start of our piece. You see all of our colors, and just keep blending it out, adding your colors. We were going to add Polynesian pink back here and our Caribbean coral in the back, but you can add lots of colors. But yes, the 4-ounce sizes are perfect for these projects. Perfect. All right, so let me go ahead and close up Caribbean Coral. And we're gonna go ahead and set this aside to let it dry. We're gonna grab the one we've already started. All right, so here's our piece that's dry. So nice and everything's blended out. Kale sprout, everything's on it. Except we haven't done our teeth yet. So now what I wanna do is kind of give it a sugary coat. So what I'm gonna do is I need something a little more opaque than Sheer Bliss. If you've seen Sheer Bliss, it's really sheer. It would be great if I used pastel colors, which I did not do. But we are gonna use Brilliant White. So Brilliant White is gonna give me the look I want and give me that sugary feel on this piece. So I'm gonna go ahead. When you shake these, when you get them, sometimes you'll see there's a metallic line at the bottom. Stir it. There'll be some firmer particles at the bottom. Stir them in really well. That's just the metal in the paint. There's actual metal in the metallics. So you do want to stir, stir, stir. And we've already stirred and shaken, so it's ready to go. All right, so I'm going to kind of just start. I'm going to start up here. So I'm going to use this jaw to hold it. But we're going to kind of just go in here and get it all in the crevices and just brush it on. You can brush, or actually I kind of like doing a little texture. So you can brush it on to get it on there, because I need to get it in some of those spots. And then you can give it some texture by pouncing your brush. No wrong way on this. So this is going to give that sugary shimmer. Of a sugar skull. All right, so let's go ahead and get her all painted up. Get in the eye crevice. So it completely softens these very vibrant colors and gives you that sugar skull look that we're looking for. All right, we're gonna get all of that on there. I like to use this one for stripes on furniture, and now for giving a sugary coat. And the brush I'm using actually is one of my sash brushes. It's natural bristle, but any brush will do. And I would use a bristly brush, not a foam brush, because a foam brush is going to be too smooth and smooth out your surface, and you kind of want a little texture to this. Little hair. All right, just pounce it all over. And get a good coverage. Okay, and then we're gonna get, there's some parts that under here we do see, so we wanna get that covered. If you're just dropping in, just a reminder, tell me what your favorite Halloween or fall activity is. All right, so I'm going to get the last bits here on the face. Okay, let's see, I got a little missing spot there. It gets kind of hard when you get them completely covered, right? get that. I'm gonna get his open up his mouth. There we go. I got like one little hair that keeps coming. There we go. All right. All right, so I think we've got him pretty well covered. All right, so he's covered completely. We'll get the back of him because he's just kind of difficult to hold. But that's what he looks like now. So what we'll do next, so we don't want to leave his teeth out. We want to make sure he's got a nice grill. So we're going to take our rich gold right here, and we're going to give him some nice teeth. So I just brush those on. You're going to use very little paint in this activity, so it's a great activity for, like I said, for you, the kids. And just grab some craft brushes, artist brushes. You can get them at Michael's or where have you. Okay. And what I like to do on this part is I have a few, I like to hold his mouth open just a tad. Let's see if it'll hold open. So I use a little popsicle stick to hold his mouth open. So just get ingenious with whatever tools you have in the house or your craft room. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and paint all of his teeth. Sorry, I can't see. All right. So now his teeth are pretty done. All right, so you got him some dental. Let's see if I can move him around. There we go. So he's got his gold teeth. He's all set for the next step. So once that dries, we can go ahead and continue with him. But in true fashion here, I'm ready for the next step. Ooh. All right. It's getting a little crowded here, so I'm going to move him over here. All right, he'll dry over there. All right, and I have one already ready for you. So he is completely done with the colors. He's got all of the colors painted on. We've got the brilliant white painted on, so that gives him the shimmery, sugary look. And we also have our rich gold painted on his teeth. So now we're ready to embellish him because we want a little more embellishment on this piece. So what I wanted to do was kind of a combination of several things. So I took the piece that I made my pumpkin with, and I've painted it already with the Caribbean coral and the Polynesian pink, and then I added some sheer frost, and I'll show you that. And of course, over that we put the brilliant white metallic. But the little shimmery here, I wish you guys could see this. I don't know if you can, but there's sheer frost German glass glitter. Very pretty, very sugary. So I thought it'd be perfect to put a few of these pieces on our sugar skull. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and adhere these on. So we're gonna hope we don't blow out a fuse today. We had to get a new heat gun. We killed our heat gun over the weekend. So I bought a fancier one, and I think it's too fancy maybe for my shop here. All right, so let's get this heated up. And first what I'm gonna do, I've been playing with these a bit, is we're gonna do a flower on him right here, or her, and then we'll add this piece, and then we'll add, I've got little buttons. These are would you bins, by the way. $14.96 are the buttons. and I've already heated them. I did sand the edges a little bit to give it more of an oval shape because these will be the eyes. Just love it. This little guy is $3.54. It's just a little flower. And like I said, this is the one we use for my pumpkin, and I'm pretty much sure I'm sold out on that one, but I can get you a number for that. All right, let's see. Let's get this heated up so we can go from here. All right. Add a little heat to the wood you've been. I've already painted them just for time's sake, not really any reason to heat them up beforehand, just so that you guys aren't watching me and watch paint dry. And if you guys have any questions, please drop them in the comments. Now you guys see that this is really flexible now, and it wasn't earlier. So when you add heat, it just makes this wood you bend. And you can slice these, do whatever on those. All right, so let's get our wood glue open here. And this is my first time painting a sugar skull. I've never painted a sugar skull before. I've kind of done pumpkins, more of the carving pumpkins. I'm not very good at carving pumpkins, but I've done that, the traditional pumpkin business. I think my Halloween favorite tradition is probably all the candy. And we do pass out a lot of candy on Halloween here at the shop. A lot of trick-or-treaters come by. All right, so we're gonna go ahead. Oh, I didn't want to add this one first, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and add that. So now we're gonna add that right there. Okay. All right, so we're gonna add a little bit more heat here so we can get all the parts bent that need to bend down. In case you're wondering, yes, it does get fairly warm. All right, so let's hold that down. So I usually just hold it down till it cools. Make sure she's centered. We're gonna hold that for a bit till it's nice and cool. We want that to be nice and adhere to our skeleton or our skull. All right, so let's see. And if it doesn't stick quite right, you can always add more glue, let it get tacky, keep pushing the wood glue in. Let's see. All right, I like to make sure we are pretty straight. Like I said, you can always paint that once it's on your piece. I just do it for the sake of time. Okay, let me get some of this excess off. Let that cool a little bit more. And I always have baby wipes on hand, so that helps with getting paint off of your hands and all that good stuff. And it helps with the glue on your hands too. All right, so that's stuck on pretty well. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to our next piece. And again, the same thing I did with this is a little carnation number 354, and I painted this. We've got the lemon yellow, Caribbean coral, we've got the Polynesian pink, and then we have the brilliant white metallic on top, and then in the middle I added our sheer frost German gloss glitter. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this one started getting warm. And you can use a griddle to heat these up, whatever, and you can use a hair dryer. All right, I think we're warm enough there. Let's go ahead and add our glue to it. And you do want to add enough glue for it to stick. You can always remove the excess glue, not a big deal. All right. Okay. I'm gonna add a little heat here. That one is much quieter than my last one. Okay, we're going to just hold this on till it cools. And just give it a nice press, and I give it a once over. And if it kicks up a little bit later, you can always add a little more heat, a little more glue. All right, so here we are. This is where we are on our piece. Okay, now I'm going to add the eyes. And again, these were buttons, so they were actually more round. They are a little more oval. I did sand the edges a little bit on the top and bottom, and I've already heated them a little. And painted them with the lemon peel, Caribbean coral, and our Moxie by the Sea. And then of course added a little bit of the sheer frost. So you guys, we've already done some tutorials on adding the sheer frost, so I figured you don't want to see me dipping stuff in glitter. You all got the hang of that when you watched us do our pumpkins. Get this nice and warm so it'll go in the I have a flower that we're putting in another one. All I did was just kind of bend it up, get it warm, and squish it into the eye. It works just fine. All right, so let's get some glue on this guy. There's a lot of projects you can do with all of these products, so I hope you're getting inspired to do some fun projects. All right, I'm going to hold his eye in there until it cools. Like I said, if your piece starts to come up a little bit, you can add a little more heat, a little more glue. Sometimes it just needs to be a little tacky. All right, so here we got one eye Willie. All right, let's go ahead and add the other one, and then we'll do some more embellishments to it. All right, it's nice and warm. Okay, and I had plenty of glue from a while ago. We're just going to add that into his other eye socket. And again, just hold that till it cools. And I'm just using wood glue and heat. I have to add a little heat to that flower. It's being a little finicky. You want to be careful with the heat guns. You can get it hot. I scorched a piece today, so I'm not used to this one. So you can scorch your wood glue, your wood you bend, and probably anything else. So just be careful with the heat guns, guys. All right, let's see if we got him staying on there. All right. Okay, so there we are. There's our sugar skull. And now we have a lot of other area here, and I want to go ahead and keep decorating this guy up. So I cut a few pieces out of the butterfly dance. So I kind of felt a little butterfly mood today. And I have, let's see, I have another flower from that. Yes, I do. I think I'm going to use one of the flowers from last week's tutorial that we had from that piece. So I'm going to go ahead and use this little set right here. So we're going to cut that one out. I just like the colors of it. Okay. All right. Okay, I need to decide how I want it. So I think, and what I'm going to do is kind of lean this over because we're going to have to apply it. Let's see, I'm not using my little transfer tool either because it's kind of a wonky surface. So I'm using my little popsicle sticks. I'm hoping they're going to work just fine. There's some curve to this guy, so we may have some overlap. That's okay, don't worry about it. I'm just gonna go with that flow. Just gonna burnish that all the way around. This is kind of a pretty realistic skull with all the little breaks and stuff that your skull would have, little sections. So there's a lot of texture to it. And then of course it's curvy, which makes putting a transfer a little more difficult, not impossible, just a little more difficult. And just keep burnishing it until you can see that all those parts are off. We'll go ahead and add this on there. And it's okay if it's not perfect. We're going to have a little overlap happening. And that's okay. Okay. Make sure I got all my parts off. Ta-da! All right. So there we go. We've got our floral on there. So I'm just going to press that down a little bit there with my finger. Make sure it's nice and on there. And those little crevices. Alrighty, so we've got our piece back here on the side. Now we're going to go ahead and pick out some of our butterflies from the butterfly dance piece and just kind of apply them how you want. There's no right way, there's no wrong way, it's just the way you want to do it. Okay, so we're going to just apply this guy here. This is one of the newer transfers so you guys can see the the lines in it. It'll help you line up your piece when you need to. We're doing a more organic, so it's not necessary. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put him kind of on the top. All right. And we're just gonna burnish this guy on there. And I just cut these out. These were some of the smaller butterflies, so they would work perfect for what I was doing today. And I'll use some of the other pieces in other projects. All right, just gonna rub that on. Sometimes I'm concentrating, so it's like, I don't know if when you guys are working really hard and you're really concentrating that you're just kind of stop talking. I sometimes feel like I hold my breath when I do these. All right. All right, now we've got our butterfly on our piece. I got a little overlap on that. And we're just gonna press that down really, really well. Okay, so now we've got our butterfly on our sugar skull. So I wanna add a little bit of something right on this side. So we can take, let's see, I've got that flower here. I may want to just take, a lot of times it's just a lot of kind of playing with everything to see how you like it. So I don't think I want that guy in the picture here. So, or if I have just that one, put it right there. So I think I also have another flower here. I kind of like this yellow one back here, kind of behind the ear. So I think we're gonna go with that one, just a little bit different flower. So I'm not all about the matchy match. All right, again, this one came from our butterfly dance as well. So I'm just gonna place that right in there. And like I said, I'm using a popsicle stick because it's easier for this particular application because it is a very awkward position to put this in, because it is kind of a lumpy head. So we got to be able to get into all those little grooves. So it is taking a little bit more time than, let's say, if you were putting it on a flat piece of furniture. Let's go ahead and pull some of this off, see where we are. Up. If it starts to pull up with your piece, don't worry, just put it back down and keep burnishing. All right. And I'm pushing these down with my finger. You normally would use my finishing pad, but this is such a weird, very textured piece. So I'm just gonna kind of press it down there. And I'm gonna add one more butterfly. I want a little brighter butterfly here. So I'm just gonna add him kind of going in this direction. And we're just gonna apply that guy on there. All right. Okay. All right, so we're just getting this guy burnished on. Now he's got that weird head shape, round. But you can pretty much get a transfer on almost any surface. Okay, get that onto that one. If you're used to the old transfers and layering your transfers, it might take a little more burnishing to get it overlapped on the new ones, but you can overlap the new transfers onto each other. All right, there we go. So now we've got our butterflies and our flowers on our sugar skull. We've got our would you bend, and I may want to, on my transfers, I may want to add some of the trying to decide if I want to put the brilliant white or if I want to add the sheer bliss. So I think we're going to add the sheer bliss. So let's grab that real quick. It's a little more sheer than the brilliant white, so that way you guys can see it on a transfer. And then you can also see the separation of the metallics. That way you guys know what to look for and what to stir up. So we'll use this real quick. We've got a little bit of time. All right, so see at the bottom, there's just a little bit of separation. So shake it really well. But all right, we're gonna stir. So it's gonna be thick at the bottom. So that's what I want you to understand, that that's nothing wrong with it. It's just your metallic is at the bottom, all your metals, and you just need to work it in to the paint. And it will work into the paint. It will stir into the paint. It works better to stir versus completely shake. So I like to stir these up. So this is what you guys can, when you have your metallics and they might be sitting for a bit, you haven't used them in a while, the metal in the metallics will settle to the bottom. Just stir it up. Not a big deal. Don't throw it out. That's all your pretty shimmery stuff. Okay. Make sure I got it all dispersed. In case you guys are wondering, I'm a messy cook too, so I get a little messy with the paints. So here we go. All right, so I've got that nice and stirred. Okay, let's see. I want to use a little bit thicker brush. And we are just going to apply it to our transfers so that we have a little more shimmer on those, since they're a little flatter, since we applied them over our brilliant white. So all this is going to do is just give it a bit of a shimmer, but not necessarily covering up the brilliant colors that we have from it. So just giving some shimmer. This is Sheer Bliss. We will be getting it in stock soon. And remember, Dustin is coming up here in a few minutes, right after me. So make sure you follow and check out what he's doing. All right. Easy peasy, guys. All right, and there you have it. You've got a sugar skull done. Alrighty. So lots of fun things you've added to the piece. You certainly don't have to add as much as I did, but you can always have just a little fun with it. Paint it. You can do more of the German gloss glitter on the piece. I opted just for some highlights in the Woodgie bin moldings, and she's all complete and ready for your trick-or-treaters. So I can't wait. This is looking really good. That sheer bliss is awesome, just giving it a little shimmer there. All right, you guys, this was a lot of fun. I hope you had fun with this. You can take what we've learned today and apply it to even your furniture or anything else you're doing. If you have any ideas or questions, just drop them in the comments. I'll make sure and answer all of them. And you guys have a wonderful evening. Happy painting.